Still singing Bible night before my praise on the bed. Wherever head I see the crowd of flashing red lights. I'd rather see the college. It's been a couple of weeks since we've been on the air post Super Bowl. Nephew Dave in his mobile studio in Norfolk, Virginia, and I am Stephen Murray live from our Chicks Beach studios in the lovely Virginia Beach, Virginia, the United States of America. This is program number 1 of Bet to the Future. Nephew Dave, good morning. Did we freeze up on Nephew Dave already? I got a frozen Nephew Dave out there. Let me go ahead and resend him the link. So that's a way to start off the first program, right? All right, so we'll move him out of studio. Let's see here. Let me see if I can get him back on here. That's pretty funny. That's a way to start off a good show. All right, of course, I got to do some technical engineering. Nephew Dave, if you can hear me anyway, I went ahead and sent you a new stream invite. So let's see if that works out. But this is Bet to the Future. I am Stephen Murray. Nephew Dave will join me in a second. And this is our look at the sports futures boards. Last spring, we went ahead and hit a nice one. And what I mean a nice one, I mean we went ahead and hit home a 5-sport cross futures parlay, and it looks like we got Nephew Dave back. Dave, you there?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yep. I had you frozen there for a minute. Not sure.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
What happened? How are you doing? Everything good?
Yeah, all is well.
Okay. Good to have you back. We haven't been here since the Super Bowl. I was just explaining last spring how we dilly-dally. This is a great time of the sports year. Obviously, when you get football done with, you're all sad that there's no more football. There's not much, to do, or at least you think that there's not much to do. But in actuality, this is a great opportunity for what we're doing, especially with this program with the futures markets, because we have any number of events here on the horizon. March Madness will be the one that happens soon. We also have NBA playoffs. We have NHL playoffs. We have the beginning of baseball season. There's NASCAR underway as well. The Masters, something else that'll be knocking on our door sooner than later. And then followed right by the U.S. Open, probably about a month after that, 6 weeks or so after that. So we have tons and tons of sporting events that we can actually capitalize on. And if you're a fan out there and you don't like to bet day-to-day games, this is a great low-risk way to entertain yourself, maybe make a lot of money. As I was mentioning, a ticket I had last spring, I think was a $20 ticket, Nephew Dave, and it was a cross-sport round robin. It was the Boston Celtics to win the NBA championship. Check mark. That was the final leg. The first leg was, let's see, what was the first leg in that? Was it Man City to win the EPL? No, I think that was actually the second leg they hit. The first leg was UConn to win the NCAA championship. I went ahead and took the favorite in UConn. So UConn checked the box, and then Man City checked the box to win the EPL. And then I also hit both the Eastern and Western Conference of the NHL with Florida and Edmonton. They checked the box, and the Celtics checked box number 5 for a 5-0 cross-sport futures parlay where $20 paid out $8,000 at the end of the day. How about that, Nephew Dave? Well, apparently Nephew Dave's freezing on us left and right here, so I don't know if you can. I'm just gonna have him call the hotline.
I can hear you.
Oh, okay, all right. So did you hear everything about that? All 5 sports that we hit?
Yeah, yep. The cross sport. Yep.
Okay, so $20 to win $80 is a great way to invest just a little bit of money, stretch out your interest over the course of weeks and months without having to invest anymore, and try to come out with a big payout. So what we'll do on this show is look at the futures markets. We'll look at every sport we can, really, across the board. We'll actually come up with tickets here on the air that we like and dilly-daddle a little bit with that, put a little bit of money down and try to get home some of these futures as we have lots and lots of opportunity. This is a Sunday morning right now. Obviously, when March Madness starts, that's going to be on a Thursday, and the weekend of March Madness ends on a Sunday. Probably not best to do a futures show on that Sunday. We'll have to kind of jump around the calendar a little bit. So I think what we'll probably do is have some Sundays involved, probably have some weekdays involved as well. If we have to go twice a week, maybe that's what we got to do. But we're going to play that by ear for now. And we'll start with Sundays, and we'll try to hang with it until at least March Madness starts. And what we'll probably do is have a Tuesday night show with all the, who can win the West region, who can win the East region, who can make the Sweet 16. Because you can parlay like 4 or 5 teams just to make, the Sweet 16 or the Elite 8 or whatever the case may be. And those have been profitable or at least entertaining as we've been experimenting with the legalization of sports books across America. Every year it seems like there's new markets available. And in terms of the futures, we will try to attack those the best that we can. So the Super Bowl is in the past. The Eagles win that convincingly. That was a good day for me with the Eagles. I had the Eagles in a slaughter, and that was the case. So good for me. And we move forward looking for other stuff to bet on here in the future, thus the name Bet to the Future. And I do have a nice little fun script, Nephew Dave, for an opening. We didn't have that opening ready for this week, but it will entail the Ant-Man and the last scene of Back to the Future, where I will edit a script for the show, and it'll be kind of funny, and that'll be our new intro moving forward. Who's your company there, Nephew Dave, you got with you next to you?
Oh, yeah, we got Jade. She's being a handful this morning.
Okay. All right. Do you have any future tickets right
girl.
now? Do you have any future tickets right now in your portfolio?
I do have one baseball futures that I was using. My sports book was giving out a free $10 bet off of a $10 future baseball play. So I went ahead and played some divisions on that one, Steve, and I can go over that quickly, real quick.
Yeah.
Steve?
Why not? Let's start with baseball. Well, that'll be our first focus of the morning. I'll get my lines up right now. So what do you got going on so far?
All right, so I'm going to start off with your New York Mets to win their division this year. That's a team that, in my mind, is ready to challenge for the top spot in that division. They're looking pretty primed to do so. So I like the number of plus 210 with them. I'm going to take the O's. I didn't really see too much that I liked in the offseason, so a little bit concerning there. But I think the roster is still good enough. We'll see. We know you get some healthy pitchers back this year. Bautista, the closer, guy's a mountain out there, and he throws at about 100 every time, so he's healthy. That should definitely help things. So we'll go with the O's. 3-1 to win their division, Steve. The Brewers, I'm going to take at a 3-1 number as well. We're going to take Houston plus 150. I just think they're probably the stronger team against Seattle. Not much movement there in the offseason that I saw.
They added zero offense.
So yeah, who's going to challenge for this division? I think your best team is going to end up being the Astros again. And then we're going to take the Cleveland Guardians, Steve, at plus 285. I kind of like them in that division this year. $10 bet on that is going to pay just about $4,800.
Wow! So that's just 4 teams with the Guardians, Orioles, Astros, and Mets,
and the Brewers. So we got a 5 team,
and the Brewers, who seem to win no matter what they do, who they get rid of. That's nice, Dave. That's following a lot of what kind of happened last season, except with the wild cards. You're kind of flip flopping to win the division there with the Orioles. Correct.
Correct.
The Mets did come up. Did the Mets win that division last year? They did. They stole it from the Braves at the end, didn't they? This things I need to go back and look at a little bit. I remember the game. Was that just to get into the playoffs? So that was
I think it was.
They had a doubleheader on that Monday, and let's see here. The Braves did win that division, but the Mets climbed into the wild card is what it was on that last day. So you're basically just flip-flopping. The Orioles did win that division. The Astros won theirs. The Twins is the one that won. No, this is not the right. This is not what I'm looking at.
No, the Yankees won last year. The O's the
I'm
year
looking
before.
at 2023. Go ahead and tell me what you got, Dave. Obviously, I'm not getting good internet outcomes here.
No, I think it was the Yankees last year for that division.
The Yankees did win. That's what I thought. Okay, yes.
Yeah, yep.
Okay.
But it was close. It was close with the Mets and the Braves. It was close with the O's and the Yanks. Consider it's going to be that way again. But we'll see again with the health of the Baltimore Orioles. Starting out healthy, injuries played a role in last year where they were just kind of staying afloat after they had a really, really nice start. Injuries kind of put it to them, and the rest is written on that. So we'll see if they can stay healthy. If maybe not making a lot of moves doesn't hurt them too bad. They like what they got apparently right now. So we'll see how it works out for them. I think the Red Sox could challenge for that division as well. They're going to get a nice number. So that's going to be a tough one this year. I'm going to go with the O's. We're going to be a little bit of a homer on that one. But yeah, Steve, I mean, that's a pretty good futures baseball right there to start things off.
Sorry. So here's where I was confused. The Brewers won their division by 10 games. The Phillies won the East, and the Mets and the Braves fought it out for the better wild card positioning at the end of the day, on that last day of the season. So they finished 2-3 in the NL East. The Astros won over the Mariners by 3.5 games, 10.5 games over Texas. The Guardians won by 6.5 games over the Royals, who were a playoff team as well. And the Orioles finished 3 games back of the Yankees last season. And these have been the better teams in the last couple of years overall. The Guardians kind of coming out of nowhere a little bit. They have really, really good pitching. So I like them for sure. And I haven't taken too much of a look at the baseball market myself. The one thing that I know about the baseball futures is you can take your preseason odds for sure, but these numbers can change dramatically through the course of 162 games. If you like a team,
Well,
like, for example, go ahead, Dave.
I was just gonna say, hell, they've already changed a little bit now from when I made that bet.
Yeah. So, for example, if you like someone like the Pirates at 10-1 to win the Central, and say the Pirates start 0-4, they're going to drop to like 25-1 right out of the gate.
Oh,
And that
yeah.
means nothing in the grand scheme of things in baseball. So it's interesting to always have something pre-flop. You always kind of want to do. It's the nature of the beast. But know that the baseball numbers of all the sports are the ones that will change dramatically. And Dave, this year, which we haven't had in the past in the state of Virginia, is we actually have player awards available. Like, I see odds up for MVP now, where we haven't had that in the past. AL and NL. I see Cy Young, AL and NL. I see Rookie of the Year, AL and NL. I see Manager of the Year as well. I see Reliever of the Year and Comeback Player of the Year as well. Mike Trout, who is forever injured, is the favorite at Comeback of the Player of the Year in the American League at plus 350. I'm not going to have too much for the baseball right off the bat. I want to do a little bit more investigating, see how spring training goes a little bit, see if some key players just don't get hurt in the midst of spring training. As we get closer to the season, things will start to kind of manifest in my head. But I do like your ticket, Dave. I will say that. The other thing to note about baseball is the win totals. Is you can get all kinds of alternate win numbers well off of what they're saying. Let's see. The Rockies are 59.5. Man, that just smells like an under in that division. The Rockies are not going to be a good team. Everyone else in that division is a good team. You can probably find an alternate number on the Rockies. When those alternate lines pop up here in a week or so. So know that there's some of those going on. You can do parlays for teams to make the playoffs as well. Let's see here. You can bet teams to be the 1 seed, teams to be you can bet teams to get a first round bye. So these markets in baseball really have opened up a lot. Let's see. One future that I have, and let's see here. Let's see if I can actually log on to see it here. And you know what, Dave? Something's going on with the sports book here today. I could be wrong. We might not have these awards available in Virginia because somehow I am actually logged on into Connecticut.
Oh, weird.
What a start to the show, Dave. You're frozen and I'm stuck on
and you're stuck in Connecticut.
So let me see if I can just log on out here and re-log back in. And that's going to lead me to say something else too. I like to bet, and I've learned this through football. I really like to bet teams in terms of futures and not players just for the injury factor alone. Right. You can't injure a whole team. But once your future bet goes down with a player, you're done. And we learned that in football, trying to get 6 touchdowns.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
Yeah. So, and especially in today's day and age of sports where they'll bench you for nothing. Okay. And it looks like, Dave, actually, we do have these awards and stuff available in Virginia now.
Oh, okay.
At least I'm in the Virginia book. Okay. Do they still have me in Connecticut? I don't know. I see something about the Mohegan Sun on the top here. I don't know. I want to investigate that more in the future. But you can't get a whole team injured, or you can get players injured. So, instead of trying to pick Aaron Judge to lead the league in home runs, where if he misses 6 weeks, you're done. Okay, do something like Dave did. Take the Yankees to win that division or something else if you think he's going to have that good of a year. The ticket that I have for a futures play, and yeah, they still have me in Connecticut here. I did this before the Super Bowl. I wanted to get a good plus number on the Super Bowl before the Eagles and the Chiefs. So the way that I did that was I took the Eagles minus 12.5 at plus 540. And that locked in a check mark already. So the other 4 things I have are this. And I just need to win 3 total. So 2 of the 4 will cash out about $1,000 if I can hit 2 of the 4 home. If I can hit 3 of the 4 home, then we're going to look at a payout of about $12,000. Actually, about $16,000 after I do the 3s. This is a round robin of cross-board parlays. That will be kind of how I bet most of my futures. I might take 1 or 2 things here or there with 1 or 2, but across all sports, I'll find 5 things and try to kind of get them to hit the good old slot machine style. But if all 5 of these things were to happen, and I do have the check mark with Philadelphia minus 12.5. Let's see, the grand payout's $350,000. Add another $62,000. That's $410,000 or so, and then add another $10,000. So $420,000 if we can get all this home. And I like it right now. Eagles minus 12.5 has the check mark. I have Alabama to win the NCAA championship at 13-1. I have the Memphis Grizzlies, who are currently about 3rd in the West in the NBA, to win the NBA Western Conference at 10-1. Now they haven't been playing great in a minute, so that would be a good time to reinvest. But I think this is a team that can definitely gel for the playoffs. Memphis, as they are complete. I have our Washington Capitals to win the Eastern Conference at plus 950. How good does that look right now? They look really, really good. And to see someone like Mark Messier on the TV yesterday say, look how good this team is. They're strong. They're physical. They're going to be there at the end of the day. They can beat anybody. Was good to see. So the Capitals are plus 950. And then the Winnipeg Jets, who are very live in the Western Conference at 8-1. So Alabama, Memphis, the Capitals, and the Jets all are very live for me, and what could be a huge, huge payout coming up. And then I have one other one going on with I have Ohio State. They checked the box for the national championship. I had the Bills, who are an X mark. I have Kentucky to win the NCAA men's at 20-1. Now, Kentucky's further down that chart at this point. I have the Cleveland Cavaliers just to win the Eastern Conference. Memphis to win the Western Conference. Washington and Winnipeg again. And that's a good lesson as well. Don't worry about that extra round maybe to try to win it all. NBA championship, Stanley Cup, even the men's championship. You're still going to get great odds and a great payout if you do things like win the Eastern Conference with the Cleveland Cavaliers. You take that stress off that last round. They just have to win those 3 series, win their conference, and then that's it. You're done. So there's a lot less stress involved picking the team to win a conference as opposed to it is to winning the championship. And you still get good odds. Now, Kentucky to win it all at 20-1. You know what? Right now, maybe better odds on them to win a Final Four. And we're going to take a look at all of that as well. Anyone sticking out for you in college hoops, Dave, that you're tracking?
Yeah, there's a couple teams I'm looking at, but I've been talking with a couple people, and I've been saying it for about a week or two. There could be just any number of teams that can win this tournament this year. You mentioned Alabama. That's my favorite right now. I know Auburn's looking really, really good, but I always like to go, a couple steps against the favorite.
Yeah, they barely skated
and
by
I feel
Georgia
like Alabama's right there. Yeah, exactly. Alabama looks really strong. I think Duke is a possible candidate as well. They're looking pretty well rounded right now. But as far as that goes, Steve, let's look. I was building a futures ticket here for us. I'm in the college basketball. You look at the top 6 here for the favorites: Auburn, Duke, Houston in there at a nice 8-1 number. Florida at plus 850. Alabama's 12-1 for me, and then Tennessee at 16-1. If you're asking me to take two of those teams right now, it's going to be Alabama and Duke, but more so Alabama for me, Steve. 12-1. That's who I'm going to go with.
So I do have Final Four numbers. I see right now, and I'm gonna pick some guys down the chart here. I think we have a legit chance. Auburn plus 340, Duke plus 390. Man, those are low. And Duke blew out Illinois in Madison Square Garden yesterday by about 40 points. So Duke is rolling big time. Houston at 8-1. Iowa State didn't have their best 2 shooters out there yesterday, and they just kind of didn't cover that spread, struggled to get by still. Florida's a nice team. They're 9-1. Alabama 12-1. You'd like to see better numbers on a few of these, but Alabama's at a great spot to buy right now at 12-1. I think Tennessee 15-1, a good team there. Iowa State 18-1. Missouri is at 30-1. They're an interesting team. They seem to be able to play with the top tier teams overall. Arizona 35-1. That might be more on namesake alone. St. John's is an interesting team. They seem to be able to beat a lot of teams. UConn especially 35-1 for them. Texas Tech 40-1. Kentucky 40-1. I think it's very live. They've already beaten Alabama once. I think you can throw Kentucky in some tickets as well, or at least Final Four. I mean, they have several 7-footers. And we know how bad they went out in the tournament last year. Izzo is 40-1 with Michigan State. Texas A&M 40-1. Wisconsin, before a bad loss to Oregon yesterday, has been beating all kinds of teams, 45-1. UConn 65-1, Dave. The defending champs now 65-1. Kansas 65-1. They haven't been able to beat anybody. And here's a team who's actually beating everybody, and that is Clemson. Clemson, who has basically everyone back from last year's team who made a deep run, right now is at 75-1. I think that's phenomenal. And if you trickle down the list a little bit more, you have a Marquette team at 100-1 and Louisville at 100-1. There are 2 teams that are very, very good who are poised to make some sort of at least a deep run attempt, and they'll have their chance. As far as the Final Four goes, to get to the Final Four, some of these teams I mentioned on the lower end of things. Let's see. Clemson is 17-1. BYU's been a very, very good team, 21-1. Marquette 22-1. So this is taking the stress out of trying to win a national championship or even getting to the final. You just need to cut the ropes down in your region. UConn 16-1. Michigan's been nice, 12-1. Wisconsin 10-1. Kentucky plus 950. Michigan State 9-1. So there's all kinds of good ones listed right here to reach the Final Four. I'm going to start a ticket off with to reach the Final Four, and I'm going to put Clemson in there at 17-1. So that'll be my first pick for a ticket we'll make this show. I'll throw Clemson in 17-1 to go ahead and make the Final Four. All right, so lots of good numbers available in the college basketball market. And let's see, do we have anything in terms of conference winners? Let's see. Duke's the big favorite at minus 850. That's to be the regular season winner. I see just regular season winners up here.
Yeah, same.
The thing to do is wait for the regular season to end and then take the conference tournament winners, because you can find all kinds of underdogs come conference tournament time. And that's something we'll go through. And we'll probably be able to go through on a Sunday type of show with most of the conferences wrapping up on Saturday before Selection Sunday. So we'll pay attention to that as we go further along. Let's jump to the NBA since we're on basketball, and we'll get through to basketball. And let me get my division standings up here and see if there's anything worth a shot at. I think for the most part, the NBA is going to be slim pickings right now. As far as divisions go, probably find a few more things in terms of the conference winners. But right now in your divisions, you have the Celtics up by 3 games over the Knicks, and that's the only competitive thing there. Cleveland's 14 games above the Pacers, so that's done. You have the Southeast with Orlando and Miami tied for first, and the Hawks 1 game back. All of those teams below 500. You have Oklahoma City, who is 9 games ahead of Denver. They play 82. They're 55 games in, and the Nuggets have played 57. So 25 games left to play. 9 games, not insurmountable, but that's a tough road to hoe against an Oklahoma City team who's been fantastic. The Lakers are on top of the Pacific by 3 games over the Clippers, 5.5 over the Warriors, 6.5 over the Kings, only 7.5 over the Suns. So if you're going to find any value, it may be in that division. And then you have the Grizzlies, 2.5 games up over the Rockets, 6.5 up over the Mavericks. So if we look at lines with the divisions, Golden State at 9-1 to come back to win that division is interesting with the Jimmy Butler angle. It seems like the Lakers are kind of rolling with Luka. Big win last night in Denver. The Clippers have been good now that they have Kawhi back. They're plus 310. But can Golden State come back from 5 games back and win that division at 9-1? You know, you wonder how much the division means to these type of teams too. Here's one. I mean, the Hawks are at 7-1 to win the Southeast, and they're just 1 game back. How about that?
That's what I like. I mean, yeah, and you have a little bit better. I have 6-1, but if they're 1 game back in this futures market, Steve, that's as good as it's going to get.
That's as good as you're going to get it. And let me see if I can log on again and not be in Connecticut here on the main computer. I know this is enthralling. Yeah, this is the same thing that happens on your computer, Dave.
Yeah, pretty much.
They think you're somewhere else. So obviously I have to do this on my phone.
Works perfectly in studio, though.
Except mine doesn't work perfectly in studio at the moment. Excuse me. So this is a fun little ticket here. All right, why not? Let's take the Hawks 7-1 to win that division. And we have Clemson at 17-1 to reach the Final Four. All right, and we're locked in. And conference-wise, Celtics minus 150, Cleveland plus 260. Now, to me, it's Boston or Cleveland, and that's it. That's the list to win that division. So I don't see any value there. Oklahoma City obviously has a great shot at minus 125. Denver's plus 490, which is a nice number. Lakers at plus 850 is interesting. That's an interesting one as well on the flip side of the conference. And Memphis is at 12-1, which we already have a ticket on. But the Lakers with Luka and LeBron, I think could definitely make a run there at the end of the day. Let me see if they'll let me do the Lakers with the Hawks, considering that's different conference and division. Yeah, they won't let me do that. So I need to take the Lakers to win that division. I'll just have to find another future with the Lakers. And I think we can just hold off for now because Oklahoma City is going to give everybody else a good number until the end because they're going to be that good. So we can buy later without having to worry about missing the boat right now in the NBA. All right. Anything else you like in the NBA, Dave?
No, not really. I mean, I like probably Oklahoma City plus 220 to go all the way. But other than that, I think your Lakers angle is pretty good too. I think those two teams kind of have the best look at it right now. So I like the Thunder and I like your Lakers pick as well.
All right. So right now on the ticket that I'm creating for us on the air, Clemson to reach the Final Four, 17-1, and the Atlanta Hawks to win the Southeast Division at 7-1. All right, let's go to hockey. And let's get our division standings up first. There's a lot to go through on the futures board.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. As far as divisions go, Atlantic Division, Florida's got 71 points. Toronto has 70. Tampa Bay has 66. Detroit, 62. Ottawa, 62. Again, we play 82 games. We're 57, 56, 58 games in. So 25 to go. You get 2 points a win. So teams like Detroit, Ottawa still have a shot. Bruins still have a shot, but they have to leapfrog a lot of good teams. The Capitals in the Metro have 82. Carolina has 70. The Devils, 68. Columbus, 62. In the Western Conference in the Central, Winnipeg, 83. They're running away with it. Dallas, 74. Wild, 72. Avalanche, 68. And in the Pacific, did Vegas win last night? Did you see the score?
I can pull it up real quick.
Yeah, look that up for me.
I know the Kings won, and them damn Jets, man.
Yeah, me and Nephew Dave needing the Jets minus 1.5, not minus a half to each win a separate ticket.
The Knights do win 3-1.
3-1. So 74 points for them. They beat Vancouver last night. 72 for Edmonton. Bad loss in Philly. They play the Caps today. The Kings is 67. Vancouver 63. So let's look at the division odds there. The Caps are well a favorite, minus 1,300. Next in line is Carolina at 9-1. The Devils 65-1. In the Atlantic, the Leafs are actually the favorite at plus 125. Florida plus 130. Tampa Bay plus 380. Ottawa at 38-1. Edmonton's the favorite in the Pacific, plus 105. Knights plus 120. Kings plus 410. Kings 7 points back plus 410. I'd like to see that be a higher number to me. Winnipeg minus 430. Dallas 4-1. Minnesota plus 2,300. Colorado plus 4,900. I would like to see Dallas better than a 4-1 payout for the division. So I don't see anything there I necessarily like. Anything sticking out to you?
Steve, if there's one thing that I would look into NHL division, I would take a team like Tampa at plus 450 to maybe make a swing in a heavy push here for the playoffs to contend for that division. But the rest of them, they kind of seem, it might be a little early, but, you got Central and Metro divisions almost seem wrapped up at this point with 25 games to go. You got the Caps and the Jets at just a huge lead there, and it would take quite a meltdown to let go of those. So yeah, Steve, it would be looking at teams like Tampa for me to come back, and if you look into the Pacific, I just don't like the Kings number, just like you. I think they make the playoffs, but I don't see them winning this division. Small numbers here with Vegas and Edmonton. So there's really not much there. So basically it comes down to a team like Tampa with a plus 450 number making that push. And I think if you're going to do a division winner and you want to look for a number, then those are the things you have to look out for.
Now, I'll say this. If you wanted to play a disaster scenario type of ticket, then you could do something with these teams that are about 10 points back or so, and it's not going to cost you a lot. But right now, if you did like a little round robin to win their division with like the Devils, the Red Wings, the Canucks, and the Wild, you can literally throw down 25 cents a leg here and get a great payout. I mean, you're talking about, and it's like you're almost priced in to do so. But let's see. A $2.50 bet, Dave, right now pays over $800,000 on those 4 teams. Just in case something crazy were to happen and all these teams go streaking hot. Devils 65-1. Red Wings 220-1. Canucks 130-1. Wild 23-1. It's $2.50. It's nothing. All right.
No.
If two of these teams were to somehow pull it out, then you're looking at somewhere around $2,500 off that $2.50. If somehow 3 pull it out, then you're going to look at somewhere around $200,000. So, not the worst thing in the world, worst strategy. We've seen crazy stuff happen before like that. So, keep that in mind if you want to play some sort of just a longer shot. Shoot, you can just put 10 cents on all those. It'll spend less than $1 and still get a great payout at the end of the day.
That's Steve, that's what I just did. I punched in Detroit, Minnesota, and New Jersey, a 3-teamer to win their divisions that far back. It wouldn't even let me bet $1. I had to do 92 cents for about $250,000.
Yeah. Why not? Just throw it in. That way you have it in case something crazy just happens. As far as the conference goes, Eastern Conference, Carolina's the favorite. I'm not sure why. Plus 320. Florida plus 350. New Jersey plus 550. Toronto 7-1. Capitals 7-1. Plus 850 on the Lightning. 18-1 on the Rangers. They were 40-1 at one point. Ottawa 18-1, Boston 32-1, Islanders 60-1, Detroit 80-1, Columbus 110-1, which is interesting.
Hey, all you got to do is make, all
you got to do is make it, right? Yeah. So, what do you like here, Dave? You still like our Capitals? I already have them locked in.
Yeah. I like the Capitals 7-1 number. We'll give Tampa a little love since we did it for the division. 8-1 there, and the East is going to be very, very competitive. Come Stanley Cup tournament time, I think there's a number of teams that could do it. In the West, you take a team like maybe Vegas, Winnipeg, the Wild, teams like that to win the conference. All good numbers. I like the Caps in the Jets angle, but if we're going to play somebody else that I think could probably make a push for it, let's do this team that's red hot right now. Kind of an ugly loss yesterday, but let's do Detroit at 75-1. We'll do our long shot there, and then you pair that with a team. Let's take the Kings at 8-1. Kings and Wings Stanley Cup matchup. That's almost 700-1 odds, Steve.
And we do have a log jam of teams in the Eastern Conference with 62 points at the bottom. Boston's in the 10th spot with 61. Columbus tied for the last spot with 62. Ottawa is 62. Your Detroit Red Wings have 62. And then Tampa Bay is the safe team above them with 66. So all those teams really alive. Like you said, all they have to do is make the playoffs and give them a chance. The Blue Jackets plus 450 just to make the playoffs right now. And
that's a team I could see making the playoffs. Now, whether they go very deep is to be said, but they could certainly make it.
That's a team that feeds off emotion. They won big last night. It was Johnny Gaudreau's kid's birthday. He was in the crowd with his wife. The brother's wife was there as well. The whole stadium sang happy birthday to his son, the whole arena. So that's a team, you can't take for granted a team that has God on their side. And that's what Columbus has right now. Right. I'll go ahead, Dave, on this ticket with Clemson and the Hawks, since we're just playing around. I'll go ahead and slot in Columbus to win the East at 110-1. Why not? Let's just take a shot with it and see what kind of crazy payout we can get with this at the end of the day. So Columbus to win the East, Hawks to win the Southeastern Division in basketball, and Clemson to make the Final Four. This is what Bet to the Future is all about right here as a ticket just like that. All right, in the Western Conference, Edmonton plus 260, Dallas plus 440, Colorado plus 550, the Jets plus 550, Vegas 6-1, the Kings plus 950, the Wild 15-1, Vancouver 26-1, Utah 75-1. The favorite now is Edmonton. I'm not sure if that's rightfully so. Dallas is good, Dave. Top 10 defense, yes. Top team offense plus 440. It's not the best number. We know how they bow out in the playoffs. Older team who gets tired, but they have some renewed youth on that squad as well. Colorado plus 550. Winnipeg just plus 550 now. I have better numbers on them. Golden Knights 6-1. They are the team who loves the trade, so we'll see if they do that. Kings plus 950 for them. So I'm going to go ahead and throw Dallas in as a ringer play.
I like that. Yep. That's a strong team.
Where I have a bunch of long shots, a ringer play would be someone who's not considered a long shot that gives you the best chance to actually check a box, and then you don't need as much craziness to happen to get that big payout. So I'll throw the Dallas Stars on this ticket to win the Western Conference. All right. Anyone you like there?
No, I like the Stars. Again, I agree with you. The number, well, we would like better. Team I would look out for, even though I said I don't think they would win the division. It's still totally possible for them. But again, we'll say it a couple more times, I'm sure, throughout all the shows, is all you have to do is make this tournament. We've seen some crazy things happen throughout the year. Don't forget a team like LA, Steve, the Kings at 8-1. They get hot at just the right time. Going into the playoffs, they've proven they can score. A nice defensive team playing a little bit heavier style of hockey, and if they can get on track and hit the right stride come the playoffs, a team like LA can really do some damage as well. So 8-1 LA, Steve, is somebody else I would look out for.
You can also parlay these teams to make the playoffs. So you can take up to 3 in hockey. So someone like Columbus, Detroit, and Calgary, who is the team in the 9th spot right now behind Vancouver. All 3 of those to make the playoffs will pay like 76-1. So $5 to win $375. That's a good short-term hockey bet that can be decided in about 6 weeks once the playoffs start. So that's interesting.
I like that.
All right. And then we did NBA, we did NCAA, we did NHL, we did MLB. Let's go ahead and look at the English Premier League. Let's just see where we stand on that. And actually, those are off the board with the games going on this morning.
I was wondering why I couldn't find them.
Nothing there. I think Newcastle ends up winning 4-3. Is that the final there?
Oh, wow. Was it? Yeah, I can pull that up for you. It was 4-1.
Yep. They got 4 goals in 10 minutes in the first half. And that's it.
And then nothing.
That's soccer for you.
It's funny how that happens.
Yeah. Right?
4-3, yes, sir, is the final.
Final score. And I don't have anything for the English Championship either, which that's a stay away league right now, the way that league's playing out.
Bournemouth really let me down too. Bournemouth and the Jets could have made 2 nice tickets yesterday.
Let's see. Golf. If we look for that, can we get the majors? All that is off the board with the tournament going on right now in Mexico. So no Masters. And then the only other thing we could look at potentially, well, we could look at NFL lines and NCAA football, but we're not going to do that. Too much transfer portalness, too much drafting.
Yeah, we got to let that play out.
But we do have a NASCAR race. We can discuss that real quick. Not necessarily Dave's expertise, but I can go ahead and give you guys a couple of picks for today. And in terms of betting the NASCAR championship for 2025, so the top 16 teams, or top 16, they are teams, but cars make the playoffs. And then the further you are down on that list of 16, the harder you have to work to get into that Final Four, per se. And usually the way that it trickles out is you might have one surprise, but it's usually the same cast of characters. And there's a lot of good NASCAR drivers. But, it's always going to be a Joey Logano, a William Byron, Denny Hamlin, et cetera, et cetera. So there's no sense in buying anything now. All these odds will stay about the same throughout the whole season for the most part. So just betting a race is kind of almost like its own little future in a way because the field's so big. And we do have one in Atlanta today, which is a super speedway restrictor plate race. So this is a drafting race, and basically that means it doesn't matter where you start on the qualifying grid, you have a chance to win it because there will be wrecks, and the wrecks will take out a decent part of the field. And if you're a car that starts in the back, you can find yourself in the front really fast. If you're a car that starts in the front, you can get in the wrong drafting line, and you can trickle all the way back to the end of the other two lines that are drafting better with you. So when you talk about a race like Atlanta, and you get good odds for these kinds of races because of the uncertainty, you definitely want to find value in the longer shots because a simple wreck can take out a favorite. The favorite is Ryan Blaney plus 750. This is Team Penske. Team Penske is very, very good. Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano, Team Penske 10-1. Austin Cindric, who we've won big bets on before on Daytona in recent years. And I think I won him out in Kansas last year because it kind of simulates the super speedway in a way, at least in my handicapping. But Austin Cindric is 12-1. And trust me, he's never 12-1. So that's telling you how good these Penske cars are. But again, all it takes is that one wreck to demolish the field, and then someone from the back can go ahead and snag this thing. Denny Hamlin's 15-1. Kyle Busch 11-1. Chase Elliott 18-1 is a good place to start. That's a Hendrick car. They're always going to be in contention. The Denny Hamlin teams will always be in contention as well. Keselowski's 18-1. He just can't seem to find a win. Christopher Bell is under Team Hamlin. He's at 20-1. Kyle Larson, 20-1. He could very well win it. And William Byron, who won the Daytona 500 last week at 22-1 and did stay at the front of the pack for most of that race, is someone I would look at today for the price. 22-1 on William Byron's a great price. He is a savvy race car driver. He knows how to win this race. He knows how to win every track, really. And I can't believe his odds are actually this low today. So I'm going to go ahead and jump on William Byron at 22-1. Bubba Wallace is on the Team Hamlin. He's trending always to start to win one of these restrictor place races, but he just ends up having bad luck at the end of the day. 22-1. I'm going to avoid him. Daniel Suarez won last year on the same premise that I just mentioned. A bunch of wrecks, 22-1. And Tyler Reddick, who is a very, very good driver on Team Hamlin, is at 25-1. He finished second last week. And I'm going to go ahead and take Reddick as well. So I like William Byron, Tyler Reddick. If you throw 25 on each, you can go ahead and cash out about $500 or, $10 on each. You get, 250, 220, whatever that comes out to. But those are two good drivers, middle of the pack odds that are paying well. Ross Chastain, 25-1. Bushler, 25-1. All these guys can actually win. Bowman, 28-1, certainly can win. Ty Gibbs seems to be trending up, 30-1. Chase Briscoe, I wouldn't necessarily go with him. Todd Gilliland at 30-1 is low for him. I'm not sure what's up with that. Josh Berry as well. Ryan Preece at 45-1. But these established super speedway racers like Michael McDowell, who's won Daytona, is 50-1. That's a nice sleeper pick. Eric Jones, 50-1 is a nice sleeper pick. Stenhouse Jr., 50-1 is a nice sleeper pick. He can win this type of race. Noah Gregson, up-and-comer, 50-1, can certainly win this type of race as well. And Austin Dillon, 65-1, is someone who's won the super speedway as well. So plenty of guys. Moral of the story is don't necessarily pay attention to the favorites, although one of them certainly could win. All it takes is that one wreck to take everybody out, and you are live with a driver. Do you have a driver today, Dave?
Yeah, I'm going to go with old Denny Hamlin.
All right, Denny Hamlin, 15-1 for Dave. I'll take Byron 22-1 and Tyler Reddick at 25-1. Byron 22-1. In terms of our future plays, I have one ticket. Did you send me tickets, Dave?
I sent you two interesting tickets that I built while we were on the air there.
All right, so let's take a look at those first. Nephew Dave has the Guardians to win the American League, Capitals to win the East, Winnipeg to win the West, Alabama to win the national title. $5 pays 58,240. So that's great. Love it. And then these are for games today in hockey, right?
Yep.
Denny Hamlin to win today. Capitals, Tampa Bay on the three-way. Detroit Red Wings on the three-way. 5 wins 507. And we'll take a look at the hockey slate here in a second. Let's do that, actually. For my ticket, we have Clemson to reach the Final Four, Atlanta to win the Southeast Division, Columbus Blue Jackets to win the Eastern Conference Finals, and the Dallas Stars to win the Western Conference Finals. And I will simply put 50 cents on all these, $2.50, with a potential payout of $60,000. All right, so we're locked in. Hockey today. And we'll do What the Puck is going on tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll get back into the swing of things there. Capitals host the Oilers in a good game. Oilers are the favorite. I'm not sure why. The Rangers are a favorite at the Penguins, two teams who got blown their doors off yesterday. We'll see how they respond. Colorado is at St. Louis. The Devils are in Nashville. Who won that Colorado-Nashville game?
Let's see
All
here.
these teams on back-to-back. The Devils losing to Dallas. The Kraken
almost everybody playing today is back-to-back.
Tampa Bay is not back-to-back. They'll be fresh against Seattle minus 260 at home.
Predators win 2-1 last night.
Did Anaheim beat Boston?
They sure did, 3-2 in overtime. Boston is sliding, man. They're struggling. I would watch out for them.
Anaheim is at Detroit. Toronto is at Chicago. Dallas is at the Islanders. Islanders did not play. Calgary and the Sharks are both fresh. And Vancouver played, and they'll be at Utah, who played as well last night. Now, these teams are coming off the All-Star break, so it's not like they're super crazy banged up. But just going through the slate, Dave, we'll go game by game real quick. What's your angle with Washington and Edmonton?
I think you play a money line there. Edmonton, that's a really ugly loss to a pretty mediocre Flyers team. You would expect that score to have been the other way around. So Edmonton favored on the road. I'm not quite sure. Capitals are playing great hockey. You usually get a break like that, and you come into the first game out of the break, a little slow and sluggish, and it takes a little bit of time for everybody to get back in sync. Not the case at all in Washington. Maybe the first period wasn't so great. Everything after that, you got a 5-goal second period, and they just never looked back. So the numbers here don't make a lot of sense to me. I don't like the team totals. Each of them have a high total with little reward. So if you're trying to squeeze the juice out of this one, it's going to be a Capitals money line or 60-minute line.
I'll look at the Capitals minus 1.5 at plus 230. Edmonton's going to have to prove it to me on the road here, and losing to Philadelphia yesterday. Cap's a little bit of the hotter hand at the moment, so I'll go ahead and ride with them. Rangers and Penguins, I'll pass on.
Yeah, I'll pass. I think I played over 5.5. I dumbed that down.
I'll pass on the Avalanche and the Blues. Two teams who lost last
I don't
night.
want nothing to do with. Yeah, I don't want nothing to do with that game. That seems like a 3-2 clunker to me.
Nashville is interesting at home against New Jersey. Now, New Jersey is stubborn, but I can get over 2.5 goals today for Nashville. So I'll go ahead and throw that on my list.
I think I took New Jersey money line.
Tampa Bay and Seattle. I'll go ahead and take Tampa Bay.
I took Tampa
goals.
60-minute.
Tampa on the 60-minute line is at minus 160. Okay, yep. I like that. I think either way, Tampa team goals or the money or the 60-minute line, I think you're fine with. I'll take the
absolutely. Both plays are great.
With over 3.5. Anaheim is at Detroit. Detroit blew a loss yesterday. You got to think they'll be a little bit better today against Anaheim, but I'll pass on this actually.
I'm with you, Steve. I think they right the ship today. Give me Detroit 60-minute line.
All right, I'll take over 3.5 Toronto goals at Chicago.
I'm going to play the spread here. I'm going to play puck line Toronto.
Dallas and the Islanders is a scary game to me. That game looks like it'll play under, at least maybe in my mind. Islanders are a little bit stingy. They're fresh, so I'll stay away from that.
Yeah, Steve, it's a no play right now for me. Under 5.5 is a plus number. Two defensive-minded teams here, so I love that call.
I hate to do this, but I'm going to take Calgary laying a 1.5 against San Jose. Calgary, a team right on the fringe of being a playoff team, so they should be able to beat San Jose at least, I think, in my mind.
Yeah, I think I took a look at a 60-minute line.
All right, so my plays will be Washington minus 1.5. I'll take over 2.5 Nashville goals. I'll take over 3.5 Maple Leaf and Lightning goals, and I'll lay the 1.5 with Calgary as well. That is 36-1 on my end.
All right, Steve, I'm taking the Caps money line. Over 5.5, New York and Pittsburgh. Give me Tampa a 1.5. Detroit a 1.5 is actually what I took there. And the Maple Leafs a 1.5. That ticket boosted up is going to be 41-1.
All right. All right, good stuff, Dave. A lot of fun looking at these futures. Let's see how these numbers move in the course of a week.
Good to be back.
And we'll check back on everything next week and see where we stand.
Looking forward to it.
All right, we'll get some good intros going next week. For now, we'll play the house band, the Pie Tasters, to go ahead and cue us out. We do have cool logos. Have a nice, cool logo for What the Puck is Going On tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sizzle Lean with Karen Doherty, 12:30 on Wednesday. Other programming to come. Stay tuned. This is Bet to the Future. I am Stephen Murray, nephew Dave as well. Have a great Sunday.